What's up, YouTube? It's Taylor Earth's Hero, and I'm joined by.
What up, what up, what up? It's your girl Luna Tip.
Today we're going to talk about our time at DreamCon. We just got back. This is like a fresh in our mind breakdown and review of how the event went. First off, I wanted just to say I really had a great time. We went with, it was myself, Lunatic, and her aunt. We cosplayed 2 out of the 3 days that we were there.
Yes.
We got there a day early, so we got there on Thursday.
Yeah, we got there Thursday.
Zero-ish kind of thing. Overall, I had a great time though. But let's get into it. We want to start off with, you pick. What do you want to start off with?
I want to talk about those premium badges. I guess my whole thing is, what's the point of them? If you're going to pay extra money for a premium badge, and this is no hate, no disrespect, RDC World, love you. Hey, Mark, we love you. But what's the point of a premium badge? I'm thinking if I have to pay extra money for something, there should be some sort of incentive. And the incentives that were given or listed down below, shorter line, yada, yada, yada. From what I remember last year, though, I believe, if you had a premium badge, you got into the premier games automatically.
There was, I want to say there were certain events where the people who had those kinds of badges, there was like, they were the only ones that had access to certain things, and they had, I want to say like priority registration or something like that.
Okie dokie. It didn't feel like you got anything special this year. I saw a couple people who had those badges, and wasn't it like a buddy of yours in the line? He had a premium badge.
He said he didn't really get to do nothing.
He didn't get to, even for events he signed up for.
I think the only thing that Caleb said he got to do was going to like I think like a lounge or something, but he said like it didn't really give him nothing, like no kind of added bonus. From all those premier events too, first and foremost, I think that the best idea would have been to eliminate the registration entirely and completely. We've gone to Comic-Con in San Diego for years, and I guess the biggest difference is obviously like the way they're set up, but there's not a registration for like lines. You get in first come first serve.
Yep.
If you're gonna have some kind of premium or escalation of like a badge level, the only thing that it should serve as a purpose for, besides maybe like a secret lounge area or a exclusive like lounge area or something like that,
merch bag or something.
Maybe something like that too. I think they did have that. Like they got like a little swag bag or whatever. Like maybe like some free merch or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's not really free because you're paying more for it, but you know what I mean. But there should just be 2 separate lines. The first come first serve line for people who don't have premium badges, and there should be a line for the premium badges. That's it. You don't need all this extra fancy other gizmos. People with the iPads scanning everything. It don't work. It does work. I don't know. Pull up your QR code and all that stuff. That is just nonsensical to me. Having to do all that. That's like so much rigmarole just to try to attend an event that's going to be for 30 minutes. It might not even last a full hour time slot that it's there for, and it pretty much, if you're not like one of the first ones inside and like you're there late or you're there like right when the event starts, you're not making it inside until like it's almost halfway over. So it's like it's just not worth it time wise. It doesn't save any time. It doesn't do anything. It hampers the time slots and the people that are trying to get in. All it does is like take away their time to be able to do that stuff.
I like that. And since you brought that up, let's transition to the fact that even if you didn't register for these events, all right, y'all, we didn't sneak in. There was just a point where I thought, okay, let's just wait in line and let's see what they say. Let's just see what they say if we wait in line for this. But there was a point where they stopped checking QR codes at a point, and it was just like, all right, let everybody in. Just y'all, come on, get in since you're already here. The only one that they didn't do that for was for No. Last thing, Family Feud. Family Feud was the last one they didn't do that for. They ended up having 2 separate lines.
That was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, I just remembered something else. We were waiting in a long line that we were told was supposed to be Family Feud. After waiting in this long line, and they end up snaking you around, just to help out with the control of like traffic area with people. Mm-hmm. After waiting in this long line and sneaking back, one of the crew members comes through and is yelling something, which no one can hear. They all should have megaphones.
They had no megaphone.
He had no megaphones.
This guy just walking down the line shouting something.
Don't be mad if you didn't hear.
Heard that part clearly.
I heard that part
clearly,
clearly,
yeah.
exactly. And then being told that the line we were in was the wait list line,
Crazy.
and we had to leave that line and exit out. And they're like, "Oh yeah, the premium line turned into the QR code line. Y'all need to be over there." I'm like, well, where was the communication on that? We've been waiting over here for quite a while. The event started about 15 minutes ago, and you're telling us now? It just felt like a waste of time. I was very upset.
Yeah.
Very upset for that, because I wanted to see Berlizzi.
Yeah, that definitely was kind of like a slap in the face. I didn't. That was probably my least favorite line experience as well. But for a lot of the events, we were able to either get your aunt in there, even though she did not sign up for events.
Right, we did.
Or B, get in like the comedy show. We didn't. None of us signed up for that at all, and we all got in. There was literally a dude there that he was just like taking the iPad, scanning it over, would say "whoops," and then he was
said,
like,
"You're
in.
good."
He did not give. He didn't care at all. He was just like, "All right, go ahead. You're good. You're good." People showing up red. People saying "whoops" because he didn't scan it properly. But he didn't care, bro. They were just trying to get people in there. But at the same time, to some degree, it's like, is that the fault of? Is that the fault of just like it's a bunch of volunteers? So it's like you're gonna get some that are like real sticklers for the rules and play it by the book, and you're gonna get some people that are like, bro, I'm just trying to be here. Like, that's all I'm trying to do right now. I'm just having a good time, whatever. Trying to have a good time, link up with y'all later, whatever. And just like and there's also people who probably have had bad taste in their mouth from the years prior and whatnot, and they're going, hey, somebody let me in last year, hooked me up. I'm gonna do the same thing that somebody else did for me and hook up a bunch of people. So it's like the system as far as like registering or RSVPing is such a bad system. They need to let that go in totality. I think that.
What about events not even being full? Saying that they were full.
That's another thing too, where like you're seeing things that are like allegedly full, and it's like you get into the room and maybe you got there late or something, and there's so many chairs behind you ready for people to sit in or whatever. And it's like, I know you guys didn't just set these chairs up for no reason, because this is the capacity to some degree. But there's plenty of empty seats, empty rows, and there's room to go. But you want to say that all this is full. That's why like that registration thing is just like, I feel like I understand that you're probably trying to gauge the amount of people at something to determine if something is worth it or not. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's just not the way to go about it. Like you got to figure something else out as far as like maybe like if you're clicking it on the app, like make the app useful and work. That's what you really need to do. Aside from the schedule and like the pseudo map they have, make the app actually work. So that way, like people are clicking to like register for events, but it's more so just a schedule reminder. So you're like, this many people want to go to an event. There's a potential that people go to do something else. Schedules change, emergencies happen. They find about something else. They want to go do that instead. They meet some different people and they want to go hang out with them instead. All sorts of things happen. So there's a chance that people are not going to attend the event and that people will attend the event. And you're not finding that out until like halfway through. So then it's like people who didn't register for an event don't even have the opportunity to go enjoy that. They're on the wait list or whatever. This is just a ridiculous system for an event like this. Things are happening so fast that 30-minute to 1 hour time slot flies by so fast, and it's just like this event was like cool, but it's like not very long, and you know half the people that wanted to go see it but couldn't see it maybe caught like the last 5 minutes or so, and then that's it. You know, it's kind of a mess. And then like hell, most of those events like before the end actually comes, there's a ton of people leaving already. Like 15 minutes prior, there's like a good wave of people that leave every event that like
trying to get to the next spot.
Exactly, because the time slots are so short, so it's just not part of that wait list and all that. So it's just not worth it. You know, I almost feel like it needs to be longer. All the events need to extend by a good 30 minutes or so. Just make it a little bit longer, so that kind of those butts get planted in. And you're like, okay, you're gonna do this. We're gonna have this event. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a nice chunk or whatever, and we're gonna knock it out. But you know, it is what it is.
I like that.
Speaking specifically of the line control, about the lines that we sat in or whatever, right? In comparison to the halls at Comic-Con, a lot of the lines, like panels and stuff like that, they're in like separate buildings. So you're not affecting the flow of traffic in like the main exhibit halls or like the main like area that like people are like traversing. A lot of that stuff is separated. It's the San Diego's Convention Center, super long. There's all kinds of different things going on in all these different buildings. The Austin Convention Center is more like a box. So all of these lines to get into like whatever events are affecting the foot traffic throughout the entirety of the event. There's lines to get into the exhibit halls. There's lines to get into the dodgeball. There's lines to get into the basketball, to get to the main stage, to get to the gaming hall, or whatever. You got these lines that are going around the corner of the building, and people are trying to walk through to get to other events or get to other activities, get to another side of the building, to get upstairs. We're trying to get to an escalator. There's thousands of people in the hallway lined up, and then there's people leaving certain areas, coming out of certain areas. So you got all this foot traffic plus a line that's going right through it, and then some people just kind of congregating in some spots too. So the line control definitely needs work. That's a huge thing I think they need to work on, just to make it more of like a open and more like, almost I want to say breathable area. You know, you got people trying to film content in hallways. You got people trying to like take photos,
do interviews,
like stop people. Oh my gosh, look at your cosplay. You know, can I get a photo? They're linking up, and then it's like that just halts the flow of traffic. And with those lines in there, it just like that's just one thing that if they could eliminate or alleviate that line to some degree, that would help tremendously in that aspect alone.
I don't know if they could do anything in the area they're at though, because that brings me to one thing I want to talk about is they're growing. They are growing at such a rapid pace.
Absolutely.
So much success, so much in such a short amount of time. Where do they go from here? So even though we are in Austin, I don't know what else they could do to alleviate that situation, you know? So it just makes me wonder where from here.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
I feel like, well, with the information we got from like earlier Q&As for DreamCon 2024, we were told that the Austin Convention Center was being torn down, allegedly. I don't know.
Gotcha.
With that being said, if it's not torn down, I'm sure they're going to try to utilize that space next year. But like you said, we're also growing.
I think they're too big. I think we have outgrown the Austin Convention Center.
Quite potentially so. I don't know how many people are in attendance this year. I'm sure we will get that information in a couple days or so if it hasn't already been put out. And like we didn't attend the closing ceremony, so we don't know what Mark may have said for like the final words.
Yeah,
sure, he had a
time change, and we were in a different event.
The last kind of thing of the day got pushed 30 minutes earlier, and we were in another panel event.
We were at the hotel
Still in this like cosplay panel or whatever, and the closing ceremony had already finished. That to me should be the last thing that you're able to do in totality. It shouldn't coincide with other things. It should be the very last thing of the convention, and that's final. Like, if you want to do one last thing while you're here, you can come to the main stage and check us out, give our closing words, and we'll discuss whatever we discuss, and that's it. Because I know last year they talked about the size of the event, the changes they want to make. We're going to be trying to work on some stuff. We're going to work on the app, things like that. That guy yelled, and he was like, I know you, Matt, because you yelling, So I don't know what happened or took place in that year. I'm sure he had the content creators up there, and they were all thanking the crowds and stuff like that. So,
yeah, for sure.
But it definitely growing. I think it was like 22,000 or something like that last year. And that was from like, I want to say like 6 or like 8,000. Like the number grew tremendously. That's why they went to Austin for this year. Like, we're going to try to they basically tripled or almost quadrupled like the people they had last time. And I don't know what they did for it this time, but I definitely could tell that there was more people there this year than there was last year. Sometimes it got a little packed in there or whatever last year, but this year, a lot of the times the foot traffic was insane in comparison to last year.
Stopped. You were at a standstill.
Yeah.
Oof, 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 oof. I'm excited. I'm very sad that I was not able to get a ticket to any of the after parties this year. Like I said, they're growing. As soon as the tickets dropped, you know me, I forgot I put my alarm on. I slept through it. Did you get the tickets? The what? Today?
Oh, man.
I don't know. I would just like to see in the future if we can't get a bigger venue, then maybe several party rooms. At the hotel, they have that grand ballroom.
Yeah.
But if we're still utilizing the convention center, maybe there's another area we could use. I know we have all those chairs in there, but maybe there might be some lovely people who just stack the chairs up, move it out the way. We should have it in the one of those stage room areas.
Right? I mean, it would be nice.
The DJ's there. That's big enough to fit a lot of people. No chairs. You can fit more people.
It absolutely would be nice. I mean, even with you saying that too, it makes sense just because I think we were waiting for Jeopardy, and they were having a party in there basically. The DJ came out.
The DJ was fire waiting for Jeopardy.
He was playing some amazing throwback tracks and just like even some newer tracks as well. And everybody was getting out of their seats, dancing in like the lines, dancing at their seats and stuff. dance battles going on, dance circles going on, and like they had to keep saying, hey, like make sure y'all can dance, but like go back to your seats and dance, you know. Like, but it was just like that area is massive. That would be amazing for their party, you know, for them to throw the party. But obviously, it would be a lot of hard work having to like get rid of all those chairs.
All those chairs, because they're all linked together.
Yeah, so you got to get rid of all those chairs, put all the people, and then like make room for the dancing and all that stuff. And it would just be a mess, probably like trying to get rid of all that and then put it back in place at the end of the night. You know,
it would be a lot of work. You would need a team of people for sure.
Absolutely.
But once the work was done, I think it'd be enough room for a good majority of people to join in.
Absolutely. For probably, you could honestly easily have more people there than who attend the normal events, just because of all the open floor space and people standing rather than like sitting down in those chairs and having to make that like that hall space for like between the chairs and all that stuff. All like people would just be like pushed into like it would be like attending a concert basically. Like
that's how I felt.
Yeah.
With that floor.
That would be a brilliant idea. Definitely more after parties if possible, or at least like the official DreamCon ones. I know there's other after parties that are like kind of like affiliated, but like they always kind of say like this is not an official DreamCon after party, so it's like you're not going to see the guys from RDC there necessarily. You might see some content creators at various after parties. A lot of people throw them, but it's just kind of like in association with or something like.
And don't hold them responsible if you see something or
something happens or you see something. It's like that's not on them. It's like this is not an official DreamCon after party. Do not associate whatever is going on there with what we got going on right here. You know, so that is important to know. But I would like more opportunities for something like that to happen. I wish we could have done. I mean, like hell, last year, kind of to go back to the growth of the whole convention. Honestly, last year they were selling after party tickets at the event. This year we did not hear about everything sold out. That's all I saw. Didn't hear about extra tickets or
refreshing, trying to see notes. Whenever you went to the link where they first originally dropped, that part on the site was just
gone,
non-existent.
Yeah, so
404.
It definitely is something that like that's like a really hard part. It's like the same thing, kind of like with like San Diego Comic Con. It's like I think it's like more like a lottery now or something like that or whatever, right? No,
for them, it's been a while. I haven't had to. Because I had to pay to get in videos. I've been volunteering, so.
Oh, I've had like friends and family who have been like in hospitalities and like their jobs give out tickets. Like, oh, is anybody interested? And they like, oh, I'll take them. And like me and my brother, like me and my friend would go to whatever event.
You see, going that way.
But at DreamCon though, everything is kind of like first come first served through like some kind of registration or like website or whatever. Like, hey, buy the ticket right now for something that's coming 6 months down the line, and it's like you have no idea when it's going to drop. You have no idea when it's going to hit. They might tell you like a week in advance, maybe or something like that. Hey, the ticket's coming out next week. Watch out now. And I might be exaggerating. They might have given you some time, but it's like it's not something that maybe you're like thinking about consistently, especially with like your everyday life going on, your work schedule going on and whatnot. You're not necessarily thinking like, oh, I got to make sure I get them tickets to the DreamCon after party. So then when you do see it come up on thing, you're like, damn. I just got to my break. I just got home, and then like maybe you look on your phone an hour later, 2 hours later.
Not even.
Crap, the tickets
27 minutes later.
The tickets went on sale. I don't forgot, man. Oh, my alarm didn't go off. You over there trying to click refresh. You're next in line. Your wait time is 1 hour. Like what? Like dang. So that is definitely like one of those things where it's like you have to get there. You have to be in those like digital lines right away.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Totally. So, how did you enjoy the comedy show?
Oh, the comedy show was great. I
liked it a lot too.
So first of all, I'm so happy Kev on stage showed up. I was a little sad because I didn't register for the comedy show initially. So I thought
it's okay, I did. I got us in.
So I initially thought like I'm not gonna get to see Kev. That kind of sucks. Like I didn't see him like walking around or anything. But I thought it would have been really cool to see him. He didn't necessarily perform, like kind of to some degree. He hosted the comedy show. I might throw a clip in the video. We'll see.
People always ask me like, "Hey, what's your secret? Why don't you never thought about cheating? You never get worried about cheating?" No, I don't have a cheat on you body. No, let me listen. I don't have a cheat on you body. Nobody knew want to see this. Nobody knew want to.
How that goes, but he hosted the comedy show and just his little segments that like in between or whatever were hilarious. Mm-hmm. We made it to see Tweezy's like he was like in the middle of his set. I forget the lady's name. Do you remember her name? It was like Ray Vaughn or something like
But
that.
I just started following her because she cracked me up. Her anime opinions were a little strong.
She said so many people were useless, and I was like, I agree. She was hilarious. Her, I thought that when she said like, this is just a discussion at this point, because I'm sure she had different jokes, but the way it was flowing, and she's into anime, I guess, it was just like so easy for her to like
easy to keep
her
going,
to like just interact with the crowd and say whatever she wanted to say. It was like it just anime hot takes that had people rolling. She had the room, laughing up a storm, rolling around. And then the closing act, I believe, was Mo Lowry. He was also pretty funny as well. I follow him on YouTube, watch a couple of his videos. He does it's cool that he said it in real life. On justice, he says it a lot in his videos. It's like his thing or whatever. On justice. He gave himself the Mr. Burns haircut for his comedy set. And I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. That was crazy. I was like, whoa, because that's one of those the term I just recently learned, hat fishing. He had his hat on, he had hair on his sides and whatnot, and I'm thinking, all right, cool, he just a black dude with a hat on top, and it's all good or whatever.
Everybody does that.
He starts talking about his heroes and his idols, and one of them being Mr. Burns, and I'm like, Mr. Burns, what? And he's like, so I got to emulate that or whatever. He took off his hat, whole top of the head gone. I was just like,
it's
what?
a ching ching.
That was crazy. He's pretty funny. He was probably the edgiest comedian too, because he made some racial jokes.
He did, but the racial jokes were like
like you slipped it in there. That was good. I caught you. Like he didn't just flat out say make a joke about whatever race or whatever. He would say something like, yeah, but you can't do this, and then the joke would slip in there.
They were puns.
Yeah, it was
they were great.
It was really good. Did it for black people too. He we ain't got no fathers. He had to throw that one in there. He said my dad ain't came back. He still ain't came back with that gallon of milk yet, or something like that.
Something like that. It was cute.
But that was funny. I think Kev came out at the end to all right, y'all, that's been the comedy show and all that stuff. Is funny. He took off his shirt too. That was hilarious. He's a funny guy for sure. We also got to see Kev at the
Black Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy.
Yeah, he was the host there too.
He was hilarious the way he was interacting with all of them. I really hope he comes back next year. I know he's had this crazy surge of anime going on for the past couple months.
I'm proud of him.
And he's just watched so many things. His cosplay was on point too. Shout out Kev on stage. The Attack on Titan cosplay was fire. I saw the Zoro one. Maybe pull that joint down a little bit, because it was up to here, Zoro's little thing that goes in the bottom. It was up to here, but it's supposed to be down here. But I mean, we gonna work on that.
You ain't gotta cover up your chesticles. We see them.
Also, shout out Melissa and the boys. I didn't walk up to them because I didn't want to be weird or anything like that. But you can ask her. I had an eye for lots of celebrities or bigger content creators.
Yes.
I kept spotting people out.
You didn't see who that was?
Yeah, for real.
I'm where?
So I was just looking we were eating somewhere. I look up, I see Melissa, and I see their youngest son, and I was just like, "You see who it is?" And I'm trying to tell them. They thinking I'm talking about somebody else. They're "You're not talking about." That
I looked past.
Yeah, and
past them.
No, that's not them.
I'm talking about right here, and I'm saying, "Oh, you mean right there, down the street, around the corner?"
And then later on, their oldest son came and joined them, and it's I didn't want to bother her or anything like that because I don't know how she feels about that stuff, and she was with the boys, so I wanted to respect it. I know the oldest is I think he just turned 18. The youngest I think is 15 or something like that. So I didn't want to make her feel weird or anything. She's a small woman. I just
family.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to come over there another person that we met at that same time though was Kyle. I imposed on him like a motherfucker, but it is what it is. But
he was really cool.
He was really dope.
I love his hair.
Oh yeah, he's been growing that for a while. So
gorge.
Cool.
Gorge. Super gorge.
Speaking of gorgeous, there was some gorgeous and phenomenal cosplays.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Super dope.
Okay, I'm trying to guess what your favorite one was. What about that Green Ranger pimp? Pimp Daddy Green
dope.
Ranger?
That was super dope. He had a chain on that had the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger logo, the old lightning bolt. And I was just and he had a big old hip coat jacket, and I was just
with the cane.
This is fire. And he was just walking around, had a little dig going. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Can I take a picture?
I was like, I had to. And he didn't, I didn't hear him say a word.
He did it, but he
I
had
didn't hear
the
him say
he
nothing.
was very animated with his movements.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
He had like the pimp movements down. He wasn't doing like Power Ranger poses. He was doing like pimp movements in the Power Ranger outfit. It was fire. It was fire. You know, super dope.
Yes.
That was probably that might have been one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I got to give it up to I forget the gentleman's name. He was the one teaching the class, the cosplay class.
Rolo?
Yeah. Is that what his name was?
I want to say it was Rolo.
The Magneto was phenomenal. I saw that when he came. I saw him. I'm gonna tell you the story about this Magneto. It caught my eye like this. We were inside. I forget where we were going. We were going to some event on the outside of the convention center. It's like there's like big glass walls, so you can kind of see everything. The doors are huge glass doors, or whatever. So he's coming. I can see the Magneto. I'm like, I look over there, like, damn, that's a nice ass Magneto. I can see he's got the armor. It's all built. He's got the nice ass helmet. I was like, oh, he's about to come inside.
The
That
cape,
looks real
the
nice.
boots.
We're going to the exhibit hall. That's where I saw him.
Oh,
So,
originally. Oh, that's right, because we saw him inside.
We were going to the exhibit hall. I saw him coming around the corner outside, and then we go into the exhibit hall, do whatever we do. I think I just bought like the shorts and my socks that I bought, and then he comes inside and I see a bunch of people taking pictures, and I'm like, I need to get a picture with this guy. This cosplay is fire. Go up to him. He's like, oh yeah, no, for sure, man. I get a picture with him. Little did I know that we'd be running into him later on. But, you know, that was a really very well and thought out cosplay. The armor was dope. The boots, the painting on it to make it look like more like comic like and like battle worn and stuff like that. I thought that was really brilliantly done. It was, you could tell he put a lot of time and effort into that.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I wish we could have got to see the cosplay runway just to kind of see more of the cosplays.
I tried to get us there. We ended up being we were in some type of premiere event during that time. So unfortunately we didn't get to go.
Yeah.
But
I know like last year they had is it the Oni from Dead by Daylight? Big towering dude who has like a club and like a sword, and he like yells and stuff, and he looks super badass. I didn't even know about the little whole contest or the runway thing, and I was like, damn, I missed that. That would have been so cool to see. Just like, oh my gosh, like just all the time and effort into that. But there was a ton of cosplays. I mean, you see all kinds of One Piece cosplays, all kinds of Dragon Ball Z cosplays. I saw plenty of Piccolos. Hell, Tatweezy was Piccolo. He had his face painted and stuff. He had like a little green suit on and stuff to emulate Piccolo's skin and whatnot. Saw tons and tons of Dofis, Doflamingos. The regular version, one of the people that we know, Matt, he was in a suit.
he was.
Yeah,
he had the suit.
He had the red suit that Dofi wears. That was pretty cool.
He was living life that day.
Saw tons of Luffy's, tons of Laws, tons of Zoros,
50 million Zoros.
Nami's. I think I saw like one like Bonnie maybe. I don't think I saw any Frankies. What else did we see? Saw lots of Aces. Saw lots of Goku's, Trunks.
Ace I loved.
I saw Trunks everywhere. I kept seeing that jacket everywhere. Also, will I get into that? Well, no, we'll get into that later. But the one of my favorite ones I saw was like this girl had it on, and like obviously like it's like kind of gender bent because she's a girl or whatever. But the way she did the Trunks cosplay was just like it like fit very well because like they have like a lot of baggier clothing and whatnot, and then like they have this big jacket on, but the jacket just like it was more like a normal jean jacket instead of like how it's like supposed to be cut
cropped.
A little bit, cropped a little bit. And then she had like I think she had like sweatpants on instead of like you know like gi pants or whatever. It just looked really well done. And then like she had her long hair normal instead of like how he has his on the sides or whatever. And then she had like the sword and stuff. It just looked really good on her. I was like, for a gender bent Trunks, this is what I would expect Trunks to kind of look like as a girl instead of like as a boy, basically.
I
that was
like
really good
that.
Too.
Her own little spin on it. I love that a lot. I can't think of my favorite cosplay from that whole entire weekend. Is it the Doodle Bob?
That was crazy too. The Doodle Bob.
Minoy.
People have some creative ones. I really wish I was making note that we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen there. At like a majority black event, honestly.
Oh yeah.
No Blank Man and no Meteor Man. Those two being absent, like, was very shocking to me. I also don't think I saw a Green Lantern this year.
I did not see a Green Lantern this year.
I didn't see a Green Lantern this year, which is again surprising. But I mean, you know, everybody has their own thoughts, and you know, some things become really popular, some things aren't so popular. We saw a gentleman yesterday that I told him, I think you're the first Jedi I've seen here, honestly.
Yes.
And he goes,
there was
really?
like-
He goes, I just saw like 10 of them walk by like not too long ago. And I was like, that's the first lightsaber with the Jedi robes that I have seen since I've been here.
There was like
Crazy.
no Jedis. Then I said there was no Star Trek. I didn't see any.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't see any.
I didn't see it either.
Until like the very end of the third day did we actually see them. So that was wild to me.
I feel like also on the third day there was a lot less people dressed up.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody was kind of on the same tip as far as like we're coming like a little bit more normal today versus like all dressed up. And
It's
all
such a
cosplayed
short
out.
day, only because
Yeah.
cosplay takes a lot of prep work. Because me and my aunt, we did the same thing. You know, we dressed up Friday. Let's see. Friday, my aunt was Storm.
97.
Thank you. 1997 Storm. I don't know why math came in my head and I'm like thinking. Anywho, Storm. And then on Friday I was Tina from Bob's Burgers. And then Saturday she was Black Widow. And then I was, oh my gosh, why can't I remember where I was? Oh, that's right. I was Miss Bellum from the Powerpuff Girls. And that's when we went to her Marvel cosplay meetup room when we bumped into Magneto again.
Yes, Magneto. There wasn't, for whatever reason, there wasn't like a person like designated to like guide and instruct like
Those
the picture
meetup
taking
rooms.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That was kind of weird. So
That might be
Magneto,
nice to have in the future.
absolutely. I think Magneto said normally there is. He just said like, I don't know what's going on, but the Magneto Rolo, he took charge himself and took care of all that stuff. That was kind of cool. So he did like an X-Men one because there's a ton of X-Men in there. He did an Avengers one. He did. There was only one Guardians of the Galaxy. The one guy was Star Lord. He did a Wakanda one. So like there was like somebody that was Atlantean, and then Black Panther, and then like some other people there. M'Baku, stuff like that.
The Jabari tribe.
And then I think that was all. Oh, the
Spider-Verse. How could you forget them? They took up the whole room.
Everybody kept doing like, there was like so many, there was a lot of Cyclopses and a lot of Wolverines, and all those groups, including the Spider-Man too, and they were all doing like the Spider-Man meme, like pointing around, like
Because there were so many. That was cute.
There's a lot.
I really like that one. I also like that Troy Bolton.
Oh my god.
There's this guy
Wildcats
dressed
in the house.
He had the Wildcats basketball jersey and his basketball. He had his hair.
The Troy Bolton hair.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But he was in character. They were talking about Gabriella, and he was
taking a break right now.
We're taking a break right now, so I came to DreamCon. He was great, and I love it when you take your cosplay so seriously that you are that character.
Yeah,
that's what the people want to see. That's what the people want.
Absolutely.
And it's great when other people appreciate and know who you are, and you feel that energy.
Heck yeah, absolutely. That was a really funny one. There's a lot of like little funny ones that maybe are not as like intricate by design or whatever, but it's like, oh dude, that's freaking great. That's hilarious, you know. Yeah. There was actually a moment where we were walking into the main convention area, and this guy was dressed up as Bob. He looks over at Lunatic and goes, Tina. And then she looks over at him. She goes, Dad? And then a bunch of people came by and wanted to take their picture because, like, you know, like, he's Bob and she's Tina. It was perfect.
It was
It
great.
was yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
I don't even know who was on the phone with. Like, I felt like I was in trouble. Like, Tina, like, where you been, girl? The street lights are on. Get your ass home. I'm just like, oh.
That was hilarious.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Hi. There's one more thing I want to shout out real quick when it comes to our favorite cosplays. I bumped into these two girls, and they were dressed as Persephone and Demeter from this webtoon called Lore Olympus, which is kind of like a modern retelling of the love story between Hades and Persephone. Mwah! Chef's kiss. They looked fantastic, and I ran. I didn't run. I kind of did like a shuffle butt half skip down the hall to get them, and I was calling out her name. I said, Persephone! Persephone! Yeah, I was drinking a lot during that time, so my personality came out quite robust. But that was great.
The Lady Dimitrescu too, and her two daughters.
Oh my God, and Cassandra, and what's her other daughter's name? There's only two of the three there, but I just remember Cassandra. Yeah. Man flesh. Yeah. That was great. And Lady Dimitros.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good cosplays.
You can live through your video game fantasies at DreamCon.
Shout out DreamCon.
Shout out DreamCon.
It was great. Just seeing all the outfits, I feel like being able to see all that stuff in real time and whatnot is just like the coolest little thing. You know, like all these people that just thinking about my experience growing up or whatever. It's like it maybe wasn't as accepted. It maybe wasn't as welcomed or whatever. You know, maybe your parents didn't enjoy that kind of stuff or whatever. But just kind of seeing all these black folks come together and just
like-minded.
They're enjoying themselves. They're being able to be themselves to the fullest, and it's just so freeing to and everybody's so welcoming and nice there too. You know, people trying to help each other out and whatnot. It's really super nice.
Maybe hyping you up too.
Oh yeah. I heard. This one here, so much Tina. You know, just and then
the dance, they weren't even asking for it. I was like, oh, you want to see? Yeah. You were, like I said, you become that character.
Absolutely.
I was loving it. And then I also had my very awkward moments throughout the day that I just felt like, Remember when I almost knocked down the backdrop of the photos at the bottom?
That was one of the first things that happened when we got in there. We saw the backdrops. We're going to go take pictures. She goes all the way to the backdrop, and she goes and I was like, this is great.
And you can see the other side. They're just coming down just
this is something that Tina would really do. This is really something she would do.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
That was great. That was really great.
It was awesome. I love Black
Your
people.
aunt got lots of attention at Storm as well.
She
lots
did.
Of attention, yeah.
I wish she was Storm all 3 days. It was just the energy and the love that she got from being Storm was just phenomenal.
Didn't she say that somebody they Googled Storm at DreamCon?
Oh yeah.
She popped up.
Her friend who couldn't, he wasn't able to make it in, but he did that and found a picture. She didn't believe him. Screenshot up. Boom, boom, boom. This you? Right here. She's like, how? Yeah.
That was really cool. That was super cool.
That's the power of using correct hashtags.
Absolutely, yeah. That was really great. Like you just said, hyping up. That was a lot of it. The next thing we're going to get into is a little bit more
sexy. Can
I? There are some choice and select nicknames coming out for DreamCon this year that I've heard about. At least I haven't heard of them before. But I've heard it called CheatCon. I've heard it called CreamCon. I've heard it called FreakCon.
CreamCon is so foul.
Oh yeah, for sure. Super foul.
Oh my God.
The event itself, DreamCon, is an all ages event. So little kids, there's babies there, there's people with strollers on stuff.
Family
little
friendly.
Kids, very family friendly for the most part, right? But there are some events, especially the after parties, even I believe the first pre-party or the official pre-party or kickoff party, whatever event, that was a 21 and up event. Other events such as there's a cabaret event that happens at the show. It's later in the day. It's an 18 and up event. They're checking IDs, making sure who goes in and stuff like that. There are certain clips that have been coming out that make it seem a little bit risque, a little freaky. They get a little wild in there, and people, I guess for some people, it has started to develop a reputation. Because we don't really hear about this stuff at a lot of other conventions, such as Comic-Con. I don't know any association with any kind of adult-only activities with Comic-Con and or any events they have or something like that. That I've ever heard of at least.
There's a furries meetup there.
Furries are just weird though.
Hey, to each their own. We don't judge. We don't judge. Sorry, we keep bringing up Comic-Con in San Diego. We're from San Diego, so it's just. And that's such a high-profile event compared to New York Comic-Con. For the comic conventions, those they're up there.
Yeah.
So we keep comparing it to such a high-class event. Not high-class, but just high volume. There you go.
High class? Dang.
No, I meant. See what I mean? I can't even say stuff. I meant high volume event, with so many people because DreamCon is growing, and we keep comparing it to that. So apologies. Sure. Continue, CreamCon.
But I just meant that in the sense of just a big event like this or whatever, having it be associated with specific activities or events that are taking place. So some people are saying obviously that this is just like a way to kind of like demonize the event and like kind of like attack like RDC and like DreamCon in general, which I don't really know. I didn't look at like the scope of like how this is really impacting them or affecting them. I really don't know. I saw other comments and like one that I saw on Twitter, a specific video I saw on Twitter where people were saying things like, oh, I see this more about like celebrities and like content creators, blah, blah. And I came in there and I was like, well, I was in a gaming tournament and there's all kinds of creators. You can get all kinds of merchandise from anime and gaming and whatever you want there. There's all kinds of tournaments all day. You have a whole full arcade all freaking day.
Like the finals themselves were just going on.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot going on there. There is definitely like, Mark has come out and said like, this is not just like an anime and gaming thing. Like I want it to be for whatever. Hell, there's sports there, basketball, dodgeball. I don't know if they do anything outside of that, but like there are like physical activities that you can actually do there as well. But as far as that specific stuff with the 18 and up, it's like that's just one aspect of DreamCon. It's not like the entire experience or like even like the majority of the experience. The majority of the experience is very normal and traditional, probably just with some added cool things or bonuses. Because another thing in comparison to Comic-Con, sorry to do that once again, there has never been anything at Comic-Con that I've done that was like interactive or anything like that. They don't have anything like the Family Jeopardy or anything like or the Family Feud or Jeopardy or anything like that. They have like panels where like announcements are made. Something gets really popular. It gets like what is it? Hall H is like the biggest one or whatever, right?
It is, if that's what you're going there for.
Exactly.
There are smaller rooms that would be more critique to your things, but the workshops I can't think of ever being a category that I could go to.
Yeah.
I'd have to check, but that pamphlet for activities and rooms and things to do, it's a booklet. Unlike the app, how you just have, you scroll, here's day 1, day 2, day 3. They're going from like 6 a.m. in the morning all the way to like 10 p.m. at night, and several things to do there.
Yeah.
So that's a little, I'm not sure.
But again, back to the family friendliness of DreamCon. There one experience that I don't think Lunatic actually was able to see this, but on our last day there, and this one kind of got me a little iffy about it. Not really, but just like I was like, this is a little, I don't know, this is appropriate, but there was, black folks, we get hyped, like we were just talking about, right? We get hyped. We get into the moment,
Listen to you defending it already before
trying to
you
get
say
some culture, Well, like, because twerking is a big point of contention. There's ass everywhere at DreamCon, just first and foremost. There's ass at a lot of conventions, but like, there's not as many people that look like us there.
With
so it's like
thick ass chun.
So it's like, so it's like there's so there's ass, but it's like it's not really ass, if that makes sense. If you pick up what I'm putting down,
because
you
we
understand.
all have ass.
I mean, a lot of us have ass. That's just the way we're built.
We.
So.
We.
Yeah, we exactly we. So that's why, like, you might not see it as much. You might not see it as much at like San Diego Comic-Con, but at DreamCon you're gonna see something.
Nothing but.
Yeah. So there was just a point where we were trying to get upstairs. There's a bunch of escalators in the convention center. We're trying to get upstairs. To the right of us, they're taking a big group photo. That's where I saw the Doodle Bob at. And there's like a bunch of other like cosplayers and stuff too, taking a lot of pictures. So they're kind of blocking off a little bit of area. And next to them is like a small circle of people. I see a camera. There's content being created or whatever, right? I don't know what it was or what the topic was, but I did notice that there was a girl and a gentleman. They were looking at each other. The girl turned her body facing away from the gentleman, and I could see her bend over, right? I didn't get to
tie her shoes.
No, not tie her shoes. There was some hyping up going on, and then the gentleman proceeds to slap her on her bum, and I was like, oh
no,
we're doing this in the hallways.
I have to call you back.
So that was definitely an interesting thing. I was just like, okay, and that's just one of the things that made me go a little bit like, that's not really appropriate in the family-friendly area, such as like, this is a hallway. This is not like a specific room or an event or anything like that. This is just in like direct hallway that people are trying to travel through. So like any kids could have seen it or been exposed to that. Not necessarily that it's a terrible thing to see, but it's like, like you're kind of running the risk when it comes to these kinds of things. I believe I spoke to somebody recently about like what the opinion is on like taking kids to like certain like conventions or whatever. And my thought was like, I would probably be more okay with, or I'd probably be less okay with taking my kid to an anime convention and more okay with like taking them to like a superhero convention or something like that.
I can agree.
Just
with
because
that.
of like, there's lots of edginess in anime and like lots of like fan service and things like that. So a lot of outfits are very risque. People are a lot more exposed and things like that. Some people are a little bit too comfortable with their bodies, which is okay, you know, in certain environments. But you know, to each their own and all that. But it's just one of those things where you definitely have a higher risk in like a gaming / like anime convention versus like a superhero convention or something like that. You still have some risk or whatever, but I feel like it's a little bit more tasteful a lot of the times. Maybe it's like spandex or something like that, but it's a full suit or something like that. You know, like I'm trying to even think like Wonder Woman. It's like most of her outfits are like a full outfit, maybe a leotard or whatever, but like that's it though. It's covering everything. You're not seeing anything like butt cheeks shouldn't be hanging out in an outfit like that because that's not what her outfit does. You know, everything's covered up or whatever, and you're not exposed. And any, like same thing for like dudes. There's a lot of anime characters, dudes who are like halfway naked. They're everything's covered up except like their groin or something. You know, just like however they want to dress. And some people are just that comfortable enough to expose themselves like that. And that's again something that you're more likely to see. I feel like at an anime convention as opposed to a superhero or like maybe more cartoon friendly convention, like a power con
like
or something like
traditional heroes they're used to seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
So that's one of the things that like it's not necessarily bad, and I'm not saying don't bring your kids there and like that, but just like obviously you run that risk bringing a child to a convention that involves anime and stuff like that. Definitely run that risk.
I see what you mean. There's a lot of people there.
A lot of people.
You bumped into quite a few people. Like you were able to pew, pew, pew. Can I get a picture of you?
That honestly, that feeling is a weird feeling because after a while of like noticing and seeing people, it made me honestly feel like I need to get off social media. Like, I need to take a break. Let me just step away or something.
It made me feel like I need to get on social media because you'd be like, that's so and so. I'm like,
there was just so many times where like
where
we passed by people. I'm the only one noticing everybody. Like this, going back to seeing Kevin Sage's wife Melissa. Me noticing her right away. It's like I see her and I was like, oh shit, I know who that is. You know. And it's like it was like my brain was like ticking, but I knew who it was. There was we saw Leon Thomas. She didn't notice right away. He had shades on, but I was like, that's Leon Thomas. And she was like, who? And I was like, girl. And I was like, I didn't have enough time to say anything, but I said hello to him. I tried to get a picture. He had to go do something. He was on the registration. I think like his homies or something, whatever. He said he'll be right back. He wasn't coming back, but it is what it is. I also want to say anybody that said no to me or didn't have the time or was doing something, I have no hard feelings. I understand y'all are busy people. Y'all got stuff to do. Hell, I had stuff to do too. You know what I mean? I just happened to see you. Oh, let me try to get a picture. I can't. You're Gucci, bro.
You're
like go on
do
about your
what
day.
you gotta
Nobody
do.
was rude. He was not rude to me at all.
Everyone was so kind.
You know?
Everybody
was
so nice.
very nice. He was respectful. He wasn't like, hell no, bro. Like I'm trying to go do something. Like he was very nice about it. I saw Zach Fox today, and same thing. Like he was going somewhere in the airport. This was at the airport. He was going somewhere in the airport. He said, I got it, and I was like, no, don't even worry about it. Just like I said, thank you. I still say thank you just for even like speaking to me.
Thank you for saying hi to me.
Yeah. So like we walked over stuff. Saw Kyle at the burger joint. That's who we also saw aside from Melissa. He was just looking down at his phone. I think he had like a bottle of water or something. So if he was eating, I probably wouldn't have walked up to him. But because he was just chilling, looking at his phone or whatever, I was like, are you Kyle? And he kind of looked up and he like smiled. He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, dude, like, nice to meet you, man. Like, I told him, you're a lot taller than I thought you were going to be. And
why would you say that to him?
Just because it was true. It was true.
You don't have to blurt that out. You said, hey, you give short king energy.
He was about like my height. They say my height. I say like an inch or two taller than me. That's what I think. So he's like 6'1", 6'2", maybe. And he said that. Why do people? He's like people tell me that. Why do you think that? Like, is it giving like short guy or like or short king or something? And I was like, I don't think it must be right if you think that or whatever. And I was like maybe, but like. I try to explain it like in the videos I've seen him in, I have not seen like a significant height difference in like him and like the women or something like that. And maybe that's why. And also like when it comes to like dances or nothing, like in Chris Brown's music videos, a lot of times he tends to kind of tower over the rest of the dancers. They're background dancers, yeah, but like he clearly is seen as taller than them, I think that's the thing, like in Kyle's music videos, I haven't seen like a height comparison between him and like other people to tell me like, oh, he's a lot taller than other people, or taller than majority people. That's kind of more so where it's leaning.
And that's what you have to base it off of. You're not going to meet them in person all the time.
Exactly. So it's like I try to remember things like him and Kehlani. I don't remember him being like much taller than her if he was at all. So it's like just little stuff like that. It's like I know some of his like camera work and camera tricks to kind of keep people even. They do that for celebrities all the time in like film and stuff. But in that little bit of time that I get to see him in a video or something, those are the times that I see him and I go, he probably about like 5'6", 5'7", maybe. That's what I was pretty much leaning towards. Not 6'1", 6'2", for sure, not at all. We didn't see like a legit map of like the exhibit hall until the final day.
Until the final day, and I was trying to find my friend's shop. Shout out HV Studios, Sarah. I wish I was wearing one of her shirts. She has a very amazing talent, and what she likes to do is for these characters, she likes to blackify them. Any anime character groups, anything like that, she blackifies them, and they just look beautiful. Her artwork is gorgeous.
You should go run and get
I don't even know where it's at.
Didn't you put it in the bag?
It's in my suitcase.
Oh,
they're both in my suitcase.
Oh, okay.
So I got this art piece. We'll put it in the video.
Okay.
We'll put it in the video of Toph. Love Toph. She looks great with her little Afro kinky curly hair. And then there was an Azula that I had purchased because last year at DreamCon I cosplayed as Azula, and she took a photo of me with that artwork. And I'm so happy that I'm able to come back the next year because she has T-shirts now. It used to just be art pieces, which I love. I still love her artwork, but to find it on a shirt, yank. So I bought that. Very happy. I'm gonna make sure I tag her and show her. But you guys really should check her out. She's great and super sweet and kind and wonderful as well. Scavenger hunt sucked. I didn't get to scavenge.
She talked about that every day too. Like, well, I really want to do a scavenger hunt.
Man, I want to be the first 10 people.
I want
my
zero
swaggity
information
bag
on what to do with that whole situation.
And I'm just like, well, where do I start? And I'm trying. And then even I asked one crew member, like, she didn't know what I was talking about. Y'all need to brief your crew members. I was hurt. I love games. So if there's ever a time for a competition of some sort that in my head I think that I could possibly win and do better than all of you, I would definitely do it. Except for when I lose terribly, because it doesn't come easily to me, then I don't ever want to do that anymore.
Speaking of losers, losing, that takes
we're gonna
us
bring
to
up
our
the
next
gaming
subject.
tournament.
Yeah. So I don't know. I dabble in games for sure. I consider myself a gamer, absolutely. Not the best by any means. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like if I had to like grade myself on a scale of like just like kind of like an average gamer to like pro gamer or whatever,
you're above average.
I'd like to think so too. But I would say that I'm like on the average tier, but like on a higher scale or whatever. Because when it comes to like
the bar's this thick,
yeah,
but you up here.
Yeah.
I see.
So like.
So you still average.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
I don't think you're average.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe if I got like more time to practice or like really like hone in on something, sure, I could be a lot better. Like a great example, right? Since we're speaking about the gaming tournament, I play Leo. Leo's been my favorite character since like Tekken. Did he come on Tekken 5 or 6? I think 6. But anyways,
he's got a good heart.
He's been my favorite character. I didn't get to play Tekken 7 at all. I barely played Tekken 6. I just picked him and enjoyed his character. Me and all my friends got Tekken 8, and I've been playing that like crazy. About early June, shout out James and Animal 619 or Junior. They came over to the crib for like a going away party that I was having because I moved cities, and still in Arizona though. Moved cities, and we played Tekken like one last time, and then that was the last time I played Tekken. We didn't play with each other. I didn't play against somebody else. I think one time I played with some streamer friend that I made. I can't remember if I made him from DreamCon or just like through like rating and all that stuff, but I really didn't practice very much. The only practice I did was the night before the flight to Austin. I came home, I played Predecessor Ranked, and then I played College Football 25. No, vice versa. I think I played College Football 25, then I played Predecessor Ranked, and then I got into the practice room as Leo just to kind of remember some of his combos that I could do. Didn't really apply any of that crap during the actual fight because I never went online to play, to actually practice. Time just kind of ran out. I had laundry to do, I had to clean up, do dishes, do this, that, and the third, try to cook some food and stuff, pack my bag. So like I never actually got to like actually train against like other players and like, okay, this is how I got to work that combo in or practice working that combo in. It's so easy to land a combo when they're not fighting back, but like when you do something and it's like, because sometimes it'll take me by surprise, so that's why I don't follow up right away. And that's kind of the part where like actually practicing against other players and getting that like that muscle memory and that realization of this is how you do certain things, this is how I land certain things. Oh, when I do this, I need to follow up with that or whatever. So I was really just poking the majority of the fight and never really working people like that. I had the unfortunate travesty of fighting against 2 King players. The first one just the first one pulls out this fancy controller. He fucking obliterated me. I think I won 1 round. When I won the 1 round, he kind of like shook his head like, I'm gonna fuck you up now. And I was like, oh yeah, bet. And he did. I think we ended on I want to say I won 1 round and he was up like 2-1 at this point. Shook his head, and then the next round he perfected me, and I was like, okay, and that's the end. That was the end of like the 2-2. I didn't touch him one time.
Didn't even get a lick in. He didn't get to breathe on him.
I felt a lot better, at least, than from last year, because I definitely understood I didn't practice. I knew that for sure, and I just wanted to have a better attitude about the situation regardless. I just wanted to like be there to have fun and have a good time. I technically made it to the 3rd round by like default because I was already in the 2nd round. The guy that I was supposed to play with in the 2nd round, he like disappeared or whatever, so I got bumped to the 3rd round automatically.
Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy. And in the losers bracket, I fought another King user who was like, I'm gonna just say this because like, ain't no disrespect, homeboy, if you ever see this video. I don't know if he was autistic or something, but like he was not talking at first. He was like acknowledging things I was saying. Like I was like the last guy I played with, we would play like rock paper scissors for who gets first player or not. Do you want to do that? And he was just like, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
And then I said something about like I said the stage. I think because the last guy I fought, I said, hey, also the last guy I fought when the first match was over, we went back to to stage selection or character selection, however it works. And,
I think it was a stage.
And then we selected the stage again or whatever. And he was just like, I was like, you want to do that? And he was just like, and I was like, okay. So at first I'm thinking like this kid's got weird, something's wrong with him. I pick my character and he just starts going, Leo, 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 Leo.
I did not catch that on camera.
This is why I thought.
Gameplay.
This is why I thought like I was like, there's something weird about this guy. Like I don't know if he's like on the spectrum or autistic or something, but like he just started saying Leo over and over again, and then when we started fighting, he turned normal. Like he was like just talking normally, a little bit of a trash talker, just a tiny little bit, like stop touching me or whatever, and he would like fight back or whatever, but. So like that experience was just kind of a little different than the first one. The first one, the guy was in the zone, like so I didn't.
Yeah,
he might have been on spectrum or something, but he had headphones in, he's bobbing, dancing.
He had a little zipper case for the controller. USB.
About it.
Glasses.
Sure. He was ready. He was absolutely ready. So that was my experience. Losers bracket, I lost again. That one was a lot closer though. I think I won 1 round the first match, and the second match we came down to the last round. It was 2-2. And then he won, unfortunately. I just don't know all the different and various grabs that King has. I have a friend who plays King, but not nearly as good as anybody who actually has a brain cell or two. So I don't get to practice or learn anything about it. Shout out Callie, you know who you are.
Oh my god, that's cold.
I have a short that you can find where like I just flat out call him stupid at least. I don't know if that's against YouTube guidelines or anything. But it was a funny moment. He he beats the crap out of whoever he's playing, and then like the last thing he does is the rage art, and it's just like I told him I was like oh man, like he's about to like 3-piece him and like finish it because he did one move, like a grab. He did his little heat smash, and then he did his rage art. But the rage art was at terrible timing. The dude blocks it and owns him, and I was like, oh, you're stupid. Like that's how I reacted to it because it was like I was like excited for him. I was like, dang, you're about to whoop this dude's butt, and then he does that, and I was like, oh, you're stupid. Oh my god, like but yeah. Shout out to all those guys that I played against. I don't know. I didn't catch any of their names. I might be able to look like on the website. Maybe I'll tag them or something in this video. I don't know. Probably not. But it was a good time overall. I want to do it again next year. I would love to go with like other gaming friends to like just see where we place in the tournament and try to take it more seriously. I told myself like the last month and a half, like I needed to train, and I just never did, and that's entirely my fault. That's another reason why I can't really be mad at myself or mad at the experience. I know what I signed up for, and I know what I did not do. If I didn't put in the work, I expect the not work results. It is what it is. You got to train like you mean it. And you got to train in general. So that's a couple things that I want to change for next year.
I hear that.
What else we got? We got after parties.
What
The
after
afties.
parties?
Oh man. So
We kind of talked about that already, right?
kind of a little bit, but
Oh, what about the nice one we went to on the last day?
that's probably the one I was going to get into.
Okay.
I was also going to mention that. So we had tickets to the pre-after party, but we didn't go there, which is fine. It was like a club setting, and
Not really my vibe.
yeah, neither of our vibes, honestly. So we went to go karaoke with some friends. That was kind of cool. Met some cool people.
That we met last year.
Yeah,
And then they had friends, so it was great.
a really good time. Shout out Matt again. What else did we do? Then the next 2 days. So then Friday, my family was actually in town, so I went to go hang out with my cousin, my aunties, my mom. It was like a birthday celebration for like me, my aunt, and my other aunt. There's really cool stuff. They had a cake there. My mom made goat. I had roti. I was like, man, roti. I haven't eaten roti in so freaking long. I was just like, roti is basically like a tortilla shell, not the tortilla shell. Sorry, excuse me, but it's like this that is the closest equivalent that I can explain to somebody. It's basically a tortilla shell, usually a lot flatter, and like I don't know what is on it, to be honest, because I've never made it, and I can't remember like how my dad made it or whatever. But it's like yellow, and then it's like what you could do with it, or what I do with it was like just take the rice and the meat and just like eat it like that. So like instead of like obviously you can use a spoon to like eat like goat or like a fork or whatever and
Right.
rice or whatever, but I take the roti skin and just like throw it on there and just like, and it's like the fucking best thing ever. You can eat it by itself. It tastes so fucking good. Roti is just like the best thing. My mom never learned how to make it. That was like the one thing that she couldn't make out of all the West Indian food my dad taught her how to make. So she found this spot where they have like pre-packaged roti. You just gotta heat it up. And I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. It's great. It was all crumbly and shit. Just like I remember it. I was like, it's just been so long since I've had any of that. And I just was like, this is great. This is a great birthday. My mom, she goes, when you get to the house, you're gonna see the bowl that I'm talking about. She's like, I made you a big old bowl of like goat and rice or whatever, and there's some roti in there for you. Huge, gigantic. The bowl was like it was huge. It was massive. It was massive. And I was just like, oh man. She was like, they kept trying to offer me more food. Do you want some more rice? Do you want some more? We got some more goat if you want some. Oh baby, do you want a burger? We got burgers. We got chicken. And I was just like, honestly, like I know I'm overdoing it with this alone. Like trust me. And then like they're like, oh, do you want some cake? And they're like, come on, have some cake. Have some cake. And I was like, I guess.
You poor thing.
I guess I'll take some cake, fine, whatever. And I ate the piece of cake they gave me. So that was really cool. Those are a nice little fun thing. But Saturday, we just stayed at the hotel room. We played drinking games. We played drinks with frenemies. That was a fun time, just, getting each other drunk, and making each other do dumb, silly things, for the rules and whatnot. It's a fun game. If you haven't seen it or never heard of it, Drinks with Frenemies is a drinking game where you just play different cards and they produce the various rules and you have to do whatever the card says. And the game ends when somebody plays a game over card. And then when they play the game over card, it says like the game ends and whatever has to happen, stuff like that, right? So that's really fun. There's different versions of it. I have two versions of it. I have there's an explicit one, and I forget what the other one is called that I have. But there's like multiple versions of the game. I have like a little map for it too. Shout out to Drinks with Frenemies, so it's a fun game. Sunday, we didn't have anything lined up, but I was able to convince this one over here to attend a little after party. Okay, I see the way you're looking at me. We attended an after party that I'm gonna paint this scene for what I thought this was. And shout out Miss Duchess, like absolutely no shade to her. I'm glad I was able to attend this event. She was hosting the event. She had it on her stream and stuff like that. She was giving like a leak to like the what was going on in the setting and stuff like that. But from what I saw and I thought or whatever, putting pieces together, we saw her and the girl from Colorful Theories. They were like interviewing and they were talking and stuff, talking about their experience and whatnot. There was a camera on the people painting. There's like a little like section where people were like painting on their canvases, and I think there was like Naruto canvas. There was a Goku canvas.
Mm-hmm. You had your pick of which one you wanted to paint.
Yeah, and then so there's just people like kind of sit by with the camera right there, and it was like showing all them paint. So and then like I believe the flyer said something like there was like 2 free drinks, 2 like these like you get these 2 tickets when you go in. So there's 2 free drinks. and there was a DJ there, and they're playing music and stuff like that. And we're not really seeing like a dance floor or a group of people or anything. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. They have like a guy in there probably just doing live music, probably practicing or whatever, you know. They want to like give him an opportunity to like showcase his talents or whatever. And so I'm thinking this is going to be like a really cool like networking event, real chill vibe, or whatever. We're just going to be able to do it. And I'm sure we could have networked, honestly, but again, just the environment, I thought it was going to be super chill, low key. You know, you're going to be able to talk and stuff like that. Kind of like, because it was also at a place called Richie's Art Gallery. So I'm thinking art gallery, this has got to be more like chill zone. You know, like going to have some music going on in the background, maybe drinking a little bit, and then like people are going to be talking, mingling, and stuff like that. This is where my mind is going as far as this event's concerned.
Okay.
Now,
Set the scene.
So now when we get there, we roll up. Richie's Art Gallery is kind of like, it looks like it's kind of like in the hood a little bit, maybe like in that part of town, you know, maybe a little rougher there, urban area. There you go. We roll up, we get our stuff out or whatever. Dude, I started 21. Yeah, got to give us a little wristband so he knows we're over 21. Get inside. It's a little cramped in there at first, but you know we can see all kinds of people enjoying themselves. As soon as you get inside, though, the music is loud. The music was loud, and it was on and cracking. We go let's get our drinks. You know, this one likes to get a little tipsy, so she can loosen up a little bit and have a little better time. You know,
I like me some liquor.
Yeah. So we go to get our drinks. She has the rest of whatever.
Watermelon margarita.
Which I'm sure was delicious. I did not get that. I got the I got the ranch water, whatever mix crap thing, and that might have been one of the hardest things I've ever drank in my life.
I've never had to swallow.
Yeah, it was really tough. Like sometimes you just like, I'm trying to get drunk or whatever. I'm just like shoot it down or whatever, you know. I couldn't do that with this. I kept trying to like just hawk it down real quick. That ain't
And then
gonna
you'd
happen.
stop.
That ain't gonna happen.
You'd
Yeah.
stop. Like the bubbles would fill up in your mouth. You'd be like,
Yeah, it's real tough.
ooh, that was rough.
Super
They
tough.
put the cup down because I'm not ready to go back into that.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you're like, maybe it's not that bad, you take another swig and then you
No, it
remember
is
how
that bad.
terrible it was.
It is that bad. Good Lord.
Ranch
that was
water.
definitely rough. We made our way outside to kind of look around, which it was an art gallery, which was really cool. They had a lot of dope pieces. I might put some of the pictures that I took on the wall or on the wall in the video.
I like the
saw
free range outside. The free range.
the spray paint,
There
the
you
graffiti. They were doing graffiti art outside, which was really cool. And they had a bunch of like spray cans. And then, like, if you wanted to do something, you could. I think I saw like Pac-Man or the ghost from Pac-Man on there.
Yeah.
People like did or drew like whatever they thought was cool, whatever. That was a cool little experience. Took a picture of that too. Might pop up right now.
There's little stencils if you wanted to add stuff on there too.
There was a lot of dope stuff. So we were outside, and then I think that was when I think that's when we saw Duchess for the first time. She came outside. We spoke for a little bit. She asked us about how DreamCon was for us. You know, we asked her how her DreamCon was. You know, she was walking around doing her thing. Went back inside. I believe Auntie got a canvas. She drew Goku. I don't know if we have a picture of that. But,
I do.
Or not drew, but painted the picture of Goku.
I got a picture. Here,
So
I'll show you right here.
I might throw that up there. And after that, I think that was about the time where I finished my drink finally, like when Auntie was done. And then I had one more ticket, and I think somebody gave you a ticket, right?
Yeah,
Somebody
that guy
left.
leaving was like, "You still got a ticket? We out? You want this?" I'm like, "There wasn't really anything left." He was like, "Oh, there's 3 drinks to choose from." Little did he know that we showed up late, and there was only one thing left, and it was that water.
And keep in mind also at this time too, there's a lot of people going crazy on the dance floor. People was there wasn't a ton of space, but people were dancing all night.
Tell me what you
There was a dude that was like was it an Attack on Titan suit? That's what that was, right?
I want to say it was a Titan suit.
He like at one point I looked over and his like suit had fell down past his drawers, and I'm seeing him like trying to put the suit back on. They was over there twerking and all that stuff, whatever. Shout out to him too, because I'm almost 100% certain we saw him and the girl he was with this morning, and he did not look like he was enjoying life. Pretty sure I saw him throwing up at the airport. He had like this like stank look on his face, just like he looked like he was out of it, he was sick or whatever. But you know, I'm sure he had a good rest of his
He
night.
had
you
a
know, shout out
good
to
night
him.
though. He
He's
had
having
fun.
a great time. Having a great time.
To be in my 20s.
Right. We went back to get more drinks, and then so I don't know how this happened. They finagled me, I guess, or whatever. Hoodwinked me.
Bamboozled you?
So I go up there and I'm like, give me what's left, or whatever. They're like, oh, it's just shots, or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. Here's my drink ticket. Just give me that shot, or whatever, right? And then they had full cups. So what did y'all get?
Okay, so this is what she said. We went up there and I was just like, I guess all that's left is just the tequila. She goes, yeah, I know it's a little rough. She's like, but if you want, I could add some lime juice, a shot of lime juice, and some of the sparkling water. So, AKA ranch water all over again. It wasn't great. Let me tell you, sir. But she put extra lime juice in it to make it easier to swallow. So, yeah, I was just like.
And I was just, did that whole number.
And it's
feel it coming out of my nose.
Tequila is not my spirit of choice to begin with. I do not like it. It is not my thing to take shots at a party with at all. No, I do not do tequila at all.
Absolutely not, no.
And then for that all to be there, tequila makes me violent sometimes. You're gonna get one or two different briels. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean lunatics. You're gonna get one or two different lunatics.
Wild, but. Even with something like that, though, I think this kind of leads kind of perfectly into the last topic that we have for this video. Plans for next year. I was actually talking on the phone to a buddy of ours. Shout out again, Gmer Animal 619. I want to next year do things with intention. So I believe we had spoke. I don't know if you were on the plane or waiting for the plane, but I said that I wanted to make it a point to do things like I want to do something every month towards DreamCon. For like the rest of the year and like until the next DreamCon. So I want to do something as far as like getting my next cosplay, finding out about the event and kind of ironing out, okay, who's all going and like, are we going to this event and that event and after party setups or whatever? Because I feel like I wasted a lot of money this year as far as like just kind of buying after party tickets and stuff like that and not going. So I don't want to do that again next year. I want to make sure that if I'm going somewhere, we're all going. And if let's say like maybe somebody can't make it or something, then I don't mind even buying more tickets for everybody. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Like we all do want to go to this, right? Yes. Okay. Well, if I'm the first one in line, or I tell y'all, hey, I got the tickets already, y'all don't have to worry about it, then we'll just do it like that. But I just want to make sure everything I do is with intention, even such as like exploring Austin and stuff like that. I want to make sure we go to places next year that like, this place sounds good, let's go here for sure. This event sounds good, let's go to this event for sure. I don't want to like kind of like figure out things like while we're there and all that stuff, which is kind of fun to some degree because you're like exploring whatever. Austin is the only time I've been there was for last year's DreamCon and this year, and I know it's a large town. Texas is a really big place, so that city's a really big place. There's lots of areas. There's convention. The 6th Street itself is like, I've never seen an area like that personally. I don't think San Diego's ever looked like that. I feel like they shut the streets down because they know what's about to go down on 6th Street.
That's how it is in New Orleans.
Yeah, I've never been there either, so that makes sense. Though it makes a lot of sense. What about your plans? What are ideas or something that you might be
for next year? I love your idea of there being a schedule month to month before the event actually drops down. That's good. It's going to keep you on course. If you do end up diverting from that path, you know where you need to be to get back on track. I love that. I already want to figure out what I'm going to be cosplaying next year. I've had so much fun. And I want us to have a group cosplay day. If we're going with all these people, I love when people are all together and they, like when you are dressed to the nines as a unit, sir, there's that power in that.
Yeah,
I love that. And I would love for us all to do that. Now, we ain't all gotta, well, that's not my favorite anime. That's not my favorite. I don't want to hear that. You're going to be hooker number 4 and you're going to like it. Like just little things like that. I would love to do that. And then if that's the case, then I would cosplay all 3 days if that's the option. Absolutely. I want to be able to have a business card or some type of QR code next year so that, instead of us like taking time to pull up our, let me follow you, what's your Instagram, what's your Twitch, stuff like that. Here's my card. These are my socials. Just scan it here. It'll take you to all of follow for follow. I enjoyed talking with you. This was great. I'll make sure I tag you in your pictures. What's your name? Okay, got you. Because when you grow, I think it's also important to help others along. Don't be selfish. It wasn't easy to get to where you are.
Absolutely. The one of the guys at the cosplay class that
workshop we went to? That was a great workshop.
They were telling everybody like to follow them and all that stuff at the end, and then one of the dudes followed me back, which I thought was cool. And
Don.
I was like, that's really nice. He didn't have to do that. Nobody asked him to do that, and he just did it because, which I thought was really cool of him.
It's like, wow.
Which going back just real quick, some of the cosplays I actually mentioned, the group ones again too. Shout out to the Ed and Eddie cosplay.
Oh
That
my
was super
gosh!
great.
Wish we could have gotten pictures
Kids
with
Next
them.
Door cosplay. That was super good.
Oh, so good.
The was it the Toon Squad?
Toon Squad
The Toon
from
cosplay.
Space Jam.
There was definitely some really good group cosplays, and I think that would be a great one. I mean, hell, Lady Dimitrescu was technically a group cosplay too, because it was her and her
with
two
her
daughters.
Yeah.
So that was like those. There's definitely some really cool ones to do out there for sure. Some cool ideas that we were kind of coming up with on the way back and stuff. But
I have an idea, but nobody ever likes my idea, so I'm
That's
not
not
going to
true.
say it on camera. No, I haven't told you what I wanted to
oh,
do yet.
a different. Oh, okay. All right.
Like, I'm just going to whisper in your ear real quick.
That would be good. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I'm gonna be
That's-
down to do.
Paint?
Well, yeah,
I don't think we got-
they're not brown skin.
I feel like we could just wear
You
like.
know I love your brown skin.
I feel like we could probably just suffice with like.
Oh, we gonna half-ass it?
like
Nah.
suits. You don't think suits would suffice?
I guess you could deep
And then you just get the.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could, and then just.
I'll have the
Yeah.
one pair of glasses and everybody.
Actually, I'm.
Oh, you.
Well, yeah.
That works. That
Why
works.
would it not be me?
I don't know. I don't know.
I already got
I
the
just-
glasses.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
I'm the
enough.
girl.
Okay, that works. That works. That works.
I'm the leader. I'm the captain.
Okay. All right.
It's like, calm down. Calm down.
Oh man.
I'm excited.
But I think the idea about having the QR codes is brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many pictures I took that, like, if I had the opportunity to, I'd be like, hey, just follow me and I'll tag you or something, and I'll follow you back, stuff like that. I think I did a lot better job last year of trying to like get some information and tag people and stuff like that.
I think you did great
But-
because you were able to see the people you met last year,
Yeah.
recognize them, say hi to them, check them out.
But this year I feel like I did a terrible job of, like, first of all, networking in general. I don't think I did a good job with that at all. That was like a total fail. But also, like, even the pictures I took of people or like with people, I didn't really get a chance to to ask them to follow them, or like just didn't really commit to, like, hey, like, you know, let me tag you in this or whatever. I'll follow you. You can follow me back or whatever. You know, do you have any other socials or anything like that you maybe like YouTube or Twitch or anything like that? I'll, you know, look you up and like check you out or something like that. I think I did a lot better job of acquiring that information last year as opposed to this year. I would also want to. I think another thing that I want to do next year too is, like, especially with all the people that potentially are going, I definitely probably want to get more hotel rooms. That's a given, obviously.
Yeah, we should probably do two.
And-
We could be on the same floor though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm also like, if it really just depends on who's all going and how like much we can commit people
How
to going.
far out do we need
Yeah.
commitments by?
Yeah, because
Because we waited until like the spring drop to
Yeah.
buy our tickets this year.
I really wouldn't be mad at like being able to stay in the hotel connected to the convention center or
So then
whatever.
we have
the
to
case
be
may
ready by this winter.
We'd have to be ready really quickly. And even in that though, don't forget that even for this year, shout out DreamCon again, they didn't charge anything until July 1st, I believe, is when the charge for the hotels actually dropped. You just have to put a credit card on file.
And
Yeah.
then you can. Oh
Yeah.
my
You
gosh!
just have to make the reservation and put the credit card on file or whatever, and then they don't charge you until like whatever date, which is that was a really cool idea.
That's
but
so kind.
yeah, and then or just something maybe closer in general,
If
like
it's there this year.
if it's there. Yeah, I like where we stay. Of course, there's like shout out. Well, I'm not gonna tell y'all where we stayed, but free breakfast and what the like. That, you know, free dinner. That's kind of cool.
Free dinner,
Yeah.
3 free cocktails.
Yep. It's,
Disney hospitality level of staff. They were
so
great.
It's pretty dope, but it is a little bit. Not that it's necessarily far
It's
from the
not
convention,
too far.
but just traffic and getting there, and then like the closer you're getting to the event, obviously the more traffic you're experiencing. Everybody's trying to get off on these exits,
so that was
so that's
frustrating.
kind of where it's like if we were like in the city, the heart of the city or whatever, somewhere like obviously if we're in that Hilton, we can just walk across. Oh, I woke up out of bed and my yard, essentially my front yard is DreamCon essentially, you know, or any
Yeah.
of like the surrounding hotels in that area where we got to walk around the corner and DreamCon's right there, so that'd be really cool too.
And then if you ever wanted to, hey guys, I want to take a nap real quick. I'll meet you here later, or I'm going to cut out
Super
early.
nice, super
you
nice.
have that flexibility.
Absolutely, super dope. You know, being able to just like utilize like the ability to go. I mean, it just reminds me of like a trip to Legoland for that me, Josh, and the boys took, and you know, Josh's mom and their grandma and stuff. Being able to like go back and rest, or like if you if you want to take a nap or something, or he fell asleep, we can go back to the room and just chill until he wakes up, and then go back if we want to. We don't have to be here like I know like me and like V's mom like went to Disneyland, and it's like when he took a nap, and it was hot as hell too. So he took a nap, and it's like we're just sitting here and baking in the sun, and he's sleeping, on my shoulder or whatever. But if we were able to have like a hotel connected to it or whatever, and have the ability to just go back to the hotel because it's like walking distance or like connected to the event, that seems like such a much better plan and opportunity to do whatever you want to do. Hell, you could be like, I'm gonna go back to the room and take a nap, wake up, put my clothes on, and I'm going to the after party in the hotel.
I'll meet you guys there.
That's down a couple floors from my room, so that'd be really cool too. But cosplay is a big one too that I would like to do. As far as like, I don't want to like overcommit or do nothing super crazy, but I do want to start with my cosplay game. I've kind of been running with the same cosplays or pseudo cosplays for a couple of years now, so I want to change them up and do some different ones, and then just kind of like explore some more of the characters that I like and enjoy. I really like what Roland said about like getting into character when you're doing the cosplay too. For like, he said like a lot of people do. What do you call that pose? He called it like the something pose. I forget what it was, but it's like your basic like like he's like, you need to do something that like gets you into like the character of like that gets you into the character that you're being, so that like like obviously like he showed a clip of like Power Rangers, like when they're transforming and doing all like their acrobatics and all this stuff. And it's like, obviously there's not going to be explosions behind you when you transform or anything like that. But if somebody asks for a picture, like hit them with the pose, like do something great that's going to make them think like this guy's being the whatever ranger or whatever character, like that he's being him. This looks great,
Sell it.
and he's selling it great, So it's like, just do that.
And I'm buying.
Exactly, So I thought that was really important. That's something that I want to take it like a little bit more seriously than I've done this year and previous years for sure. That'd be
I'm
really
excited.
good too.
That'd be great. And then also to be consistent with streaming. That's another goal of mine. I know I can't do several videos a week because of how my schedule's set up, but I'm thinking if I can at least dedicate once a week, I think that'd be a great start.
I wanna take a second too to shout out Renamark too. I ran into him at DreamCon. There was like a Twitch thing or something, but it was like, and I had spoke to him. I was like, "Hey, are you doing your thing?" And I guess his panel got denied, unfortunately. And he told him why. He said they got like a couple things kind of going like that. And if anybody who watches this video, if you were at DreamCon and went to some of these panels, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't really see anything that was like Renamark's was, as far as like networking and like getting to highlight or showcase some of like your stuff. So the way he set it up was, first we was gonna like just talk and maybe let a couple people show, but the room ended up turning into everybody got a chance to like share something from like whatever content, podcasts, music, Instagram pages, YouTube channels, fashion, just all kinds of stuff. That whatever they were doing, hey, follow me on this, look at that, check that out. That's how I got in touch with Caleb and a couple other people that I still follow and have on Instagram today. But I want to make it a point, because I bring that up to say I also want to make it a point to like have content at the ready, so that if people go to my page or my channels or whatever, they can see something right away and like, oh, that's funny, oh, that looks good, and I have, obviously, TikTok's it's looking like it's out the window or whatever, so like I'm not really too worried about that, but like YouTube for sure, Instagram for sure, and whatever freaking other websites may or may not come up, but so I think that's important. And I would like to see that version of the room come again. That little Twitch room they had or whatever, it just didn't really work out. There was a lot of people like just IRL streaming in there. There was like one console that people were playing like Tekken 8 in there or whatever.
But nobody, it didn't give you it didn't force anyone to share about themselves, because in this industry you will find a lot of introverts. We are sitting behind cameras, we're on our computers, we're not out there mingling. Yeah. So it was nice to have someone who took charge and was like, you share something about yourself, share something about yourself to the whole entire room, and then all of you support this person. And you went from person to person to person, because I'm so sorry, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but isn't that the purpose of DreamCon? It's helping you find your dreams, helping everybody, these content creators, build themselves up to become better. Yeah. So absolutely, why couldn't we have a room like that? And unfortunately, what it ended up being is, because there was no direction, there was no leader in that room. Some of these rooms had no leaders.
A lot of them had no leaders, or like a volunteer, somebody kind of to designate some stuff.
So they're just chilling.
Yeah. that was kind
chilling
of
and taking pictures and live streaming.
Yeah. And probably most of the people are like, if they knew each other, they probably like just linked up there or whatever. But there wasn't really like at least it didn't appear like there was a whole lot of networking happening. Maybe to some degree, I'm sure, because it's like you can always make your own networking opportunities if you just get out of your own head or get out of your own shell and just go like, hey, like, you know, do you like you just ask somebody a question. That's essentially how I met Duchess and like Keita and stuff. You just ask somebody a question and then they go, yeah, I do, or whatever. Like, oh, would you be interested in following me and I'll follow you and all that stuff? They're like, oh yeah, for sure, you know. So
it takes nothing for you to follow somebody. It's
true,
a click.
Absolutely.
I don't understand people who don't do it. Follow for follow? Yeah. Nah. What?
So
you don't want to support me, but you want me to support you?
Right? Crazy.
Oh, okay.
But in that regard, though, I definitely would like to see a room geared towards that with that structure again. And like I said before, if there was one, please let me know so that next year I can go into that room and like help out or like showcase. Because this year I was low key ready. I had some clips from like a podcast that I'm doing with my friends. I had like some clips and stuff, just something ready to go right away. Because last year I didn't get to do it because I rushed out of there to go to the closing ceremony. But I got to follow and look at so many people's content, and I was just like, dang, like this year I'm ready with my clips. I'm ready to go, you know. But you know, it wasn't that specific thing wasn't there. I know there was like a YouTube creator thing, but I don't know.
You had to have a YouTube.
There was something about a YouTube wristband for something. YouTube
like,
lounge. Or
I didn't even
like that,
hear about getting a YouTube wristband to have to go to the YouTube event to help me build my YouTube channel. Crazy. I'm not even somebody yet. I can't get in the door.
Right? I'm trying to get the tips. What they need the tips for? They're already in the door, you know. But
good.
But overall, like I said at the beginning,
I will rate it 7 out of 10 this year.
7 out of 10.
I would.
That's pretty good. I think that's pretty accurate. I do think that I think part of it is because we had more people, and then like we did a lot more exploring. I feel like because like we had just met Matt and we were going all over the place and stuff like that. So I think I did have a little bit more fun last year, and I also do feel like I felt like less of a failure in the regard of like networking and stuff. Especially that final day, I really just took charge and was just like started. Like I didn't really take no pictures the first 2 days last year. This year I took pictures. I want to say like all 3 days. I think I took pictures of people.
I think
so I was a lot more about like feeling okay with asking people to take pictures and notice stuff, whatever, and in that regard. But feeling more like a failure as far as like networking itself, though. You know, so there is like things to work on.
You'll find that balance.
Oh, I hope so.
Like how you evened out.
Yeah. So
you'll find it.
But yeah. I'd probably give it the same, about a 7. That sounds good. Hopefully, you know, next year maybe able to give it a higher rating as far as like entertainment, and maybe we'll get better perks and stuff like that. Maybe get a premium badge or something. So that might be kind of cool. But
we almost did this year.
Yeah. But
until I read the fine print, I'm like, what? This don't do nothing.
That's what it seemed like at least initially, for sure. That's definitely what it seemed like. But overall, I had a great time, like I said at the beginning. Of the video, I think I definitely enjoyed myself. I had a great time. I would definitely do it again. I can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to hear about where it's going to be at specifically. Yeah. But that's it. I don't know if you want to shout yourself out or let people know who you are.
I want to shout myself out.
All right. Well, that is we have been.
My name is Lunatic1738.
There you go. Yeah. Just search that in whatever search bar you feel like.
And it's not the normal conventional way to spell lunatic. That is LUNAHTIK 1738. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. I'm gonna get better with streaming once a week. You'll see more of me. There'll be more in my streams. And then on my Instagram page, I will make sure to post my cosplays, not that I just do at conventions, but also ones that I do throughout the year. So I want to, as well, on my journey, once a month for a new cosplay. And then we'll keep my once a weeks for my streams on Twitch, and I'll make sure to update my schedule. And yeah.
And y'all know me, of course, obviously. You're on my channel for a reason, more than likely. Maybe you stumbled across this video.
You know me.
In case you stumbled across this video, I am Taylor as Hero. I'm also a streamer. I play lots of games on Twitch. I'm a variety streamer. I play whatever. I want to get more into also just talking to an audience if I can too. Probably doing some more reactions and review type things as well. Because I play so many games and watch a lot of movies and TV and stuff like that. And so I have YouTube. I also have an Instagram for Taylor's Hero specifically, and TikTok. That's pretty much it. So follow me in any of those. You'll probably see this at the end of the video as the outro goes as well. But this has been fun. Let's do it again, hopefully next year, and maybe again soon with other things. But for now, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Peace.